Hi guys, it's Loey. Today's video is going to be a tutorial on my everyday foundation routine of the moment. I've been getting really bad cystic acne along my cheeks, on my jaw, a couple on my forehead that have kind of cleared up. So I'm going to be showing you guys how I not only cover them, but how I create kind of a weightless foundation routine that makes it feel like your face isn't covered by a mask, but so that you still feel comfortable with going out in the world. So I am going to stop rambling and jump into the video, but before I do that, if you are someone just Googling or searching in the YouTube search bar on really high coverage foundation routines and you stumbled across this video and you don't know me at all, please be kind, because it's not like I don't take care of my skin. I do. I take very, very good care of my skin. I'm not unhygienic. This is a hormonal issue that I have and I'm working on it. And yeah, other than that, I really hope you all enjoy this tutorial. I hope it's helpful for you, and I will go ahead and get right into it. Okay, so starting out with a blank canvas, well, almost blank. I moisturized and then I followed up with my Tarte Clean Slate Poreless 12-Hour Perfecting Primer. It's just like a silicone-based primer. It comes out, you know, clear and everything like that. And I've let that sit in for maybe like the past 5 or so minutes. I'm going to be using a slightly fuller coverage foundation than usual. Usually I just do a super heavy duty concealer, and then I'll do my Revlon Nearly Naked foundation, which is just super lightweight and breathable. Today, however, I'm going to be using the Covergirl Clean Whipped Cream foundation, and this is much fuller coverage than anything I typically use. It just comes in a kind of mousse consistency. I mentioned this in a recent favorites video. What I like to do with this is just, of course, my hands are clean. I will like kind of dot it on my face, not really worrying too much about whether or not I'm going to get like enough product there at first, because I'm going to follow up with concealer after the foundation. For the record, I am in the color 325 and it is a perfect match. If you have like fair skin but you have extremely yellow based skin, I definitely recommend it. So I'm just kind of like dabbing my Real Techniques expert face brush into whatever product is left to kind of like have it absorb that instead of absorbing all the product the second it gets on my face. And I am just going to kind of start patting the foundation into my skin. Now that that's kind of blended really roughly, just like the first layer is down, I'm going to take this Hard Candy Glamoflauge concealer. This is the one thing that I think has stayed the same through every foundation routine I have ever done in my YouTube existence. I love this stuff so much. It's super high coverage. It's super cheap. You can get it at Walmart for like $6. So I'm in the color Light, which doesn't match me perfectly as you'll see, but I'm going to like go over the top one more time with a little bit more foundation just to blend everything. But I'm just going to take this, and in the areas where I have a lot going on, it's kind of easy for me because I break out in the same area just like over and over again, like on my cheeks or my chin. So I'm just going to kind of dot it there and then spread it across the areas that need it. I like to just kind of pat that in with my finger. I find like it blends better that way than with any brush or any sponge or anything like that. This is definitely the part of my routine that takes me the longest, just because for me, I do have issues with hyperpigmentation, so even like on areas that I don't have a zit, I probably have a post-acne mark or something along those lines. So it's really tedious to kind of pat in every single spot, but it's really worth it in the end. I'm going to go back in with my foundation, take a little bit more of that, and I'm going to spread this across the areas that I put on the concealer for a little bit of added coverage, as well as just making the concealer blend perfectly into my skin. I'll just kind of really lightly pat this. I don't want it to disturb the kind of perfect canvas I've already made with the concealer, if that makes any sense. I won't use like a brush and swirl it around or buff it into my skin like I did with the first initial layer. Now that I feel confident that everything is just kind of blended and looks, you know, perfected to the point where I feel comfortable with it, you know, there's still going to be a couple marks showing through, but I do also wear a medium coverage powder, so it'll kind of top those off and just make them not as red. I am just going to take my under eye concealer. I am using the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind today because I also have hereditary dark circles, so I'm just going to kind of sweep that on. This is in the Brightener shade, So it has kind of a pinky undertone, but I'm just going to kind of blend it in with my fingers. I put it on my eyelids too just because they are so dark. I also like that it kind of doubles as like an eyebrow shaper in that area, so it just makes my eyebrows look a little bit neater if maybe I haven't plucked them in a day or two. So now that that's blended in, what I like to do is take an even lighter concealer. This is going to be the Rimmel London Match Perfection Skin Tone Adapting Concealer in the color 230, and it is a 2-in-1 concealer and highlighter. It's just a really light concealer that's even whiter than my poor face is right now. So I am just going to kind of smooth that underneath the eyes, making sure not to overdo this part because I already do have concealer under there and I don't really want it to like cake up. I'm just going to kind of pat this underneath my eyes. I do not put this on my eyelids because I do prime them before I do my eyeshadow. So this is where things kind of stop for my foundation routine. I like to actually do the rest of my makeup while I am letting my foundation kind of sit and set on my face. I like to give myself maybe a 10-minute window in between the point where I put a liquid product on my face and when I put a powder product on my face. I just find it looks so much less cakey. The product goes on so much more smoothly. And it looks better. I've always done it like that and I've always liked the effect that it gave. So what I'm going to do, since I am going to be filming a chit chat, get ready with me, after I film this foundation routine, I'm just going to go, I need to actually touch up my hair a little bit. I just realized this piece is not as curly as I would like. And I will join you in about 10 minutes and we will finish off the foundation routine and I will just show you my final steps to getting a flawless canvas. Okay, so I'm back. It's been about 10 minutes. I recurled my hair, I sipped my coffee, I put on some jewelry. Very exciting things going on in my life. What I'm going to do is take a small brush. This is the e.l.f. blush brush, but I always use it to set my under eye concealer. And this is the Rimmel Stay Matte Powder, my favorite powder of all time, for the record, in the color 003 Natural. This is fairly light for me right now, so what I'm going to do is just kind of take it on this brush. And before I like set any of my under eye concealer, I just like to kind of take my finger and re-pat in that area to make sure it didn't settle into any lines. Then I'm just going to use this underneath my eyes. Using a lighter powder in this area kind of helps to obviously set the concealer because you always need powder to set your under eye concealer, but it also acts to brighten that area just a little bit more. Now using my Rimmel Stay Matte Powder in 004 Sandstorm, which is basically my skin color at the moment. It's going to be much more yellow based and it matches my skin perfectly. I'm going to take this e.l.f. Kabuki brush. He's a little bit dirty right now. I cleaned him like 3 days ago, but powder brushes, they're very hard to keep clean. I'm just going to swirl this in the powder, get a pretty generous amount on the brush because I do like a matte finish and that seems like a little bit much, but what I like to do is take it and then kind of dab it along my skin like so. There's really no method to it other than just kind of act like it's a stippling brush and stipple it along your skin. I'm also just going to take some right underneath my jaw. So this is basically what it looks like right after I powdered. You can see that from before it's just so much better. It's definitely covered. I feel comfortable to go about the day, and then what I like to do next is actually contour, and because I have issues along my cheeks, this helps to mask them even further with a darker powder. So I'm just going to try to go kind of light-handed today because I am slightly paler than I typically am when I'm like fake tanning and stuff. So I am taking the Sonia Kashuk angled blush brush, I think, but I love it for contouring, and I'm using my NYX Smooth Skin bronzer in Sunny. If you want to, you can always suck in your cheeks like this, and where it kind of will hollow in your face is where you're meant to put a darker color, so it makes your face look more sculpted and less just like one color. So this just adds some dimension back in. So I'm just going to really lightly kind of put some bronzer in this area. You can see that just creates really subtle definition. Now mine looks a little bit stronger on camera. I feel like contouring always looks stronger on camera, but of course it's kind of blended out when you put on blush later anyways. Also just going to take a little bit of this kind of through my temple area up to my forehead because I have a fairly high forehead and I like to just really lightly even it out with a little bit of bronzer. Also taking just a tiny bit of this along the sides of my nose. Instant nose job. I have like a bump on the side of my nose, but it's on both sides. I never broke my nose. I just have a funky nose, so I like to smooth it out. I would never get actual plastic surgery, but this is fun. Just like to take some of this and kind of put it right underneath my jaw. I have a fairly strong jaw anyways, but I like that this just kind of emphasizes it. Not too much right down here, or else you could look like you have a beard. Now, if I'm going to be doing something really special, or if I'm like filming and I really want to look sculpted on camera, I will go in afterwards with my Too Faced Chocolate Solei bronzer in the color just the basic like chocolate. I will take this Bare Minerals. It's so old that the name is like wiped off, but it's tried and true. What I like to do is just kind of squish this guy, dab him into the powder, which I didn't even show you the color. It looks like this. And then I will really carefully take this, because this is so intensely pigmented. I will start with the world's lightest hand here. Take this right through my cheekbone area. And this is the only area I will actually do it, because you can see it creates a really intense line that like takes a lot to blend later. So now that I have a pretty sharp line in that area, what I'll do is blend, and I will just kind of wipe off the angled brush I used earlier. So it's kind of like free of any product, and I will just blend in this area, trying not to, again, mess up the foundation or the concealer that I've already put down. And if it gets too strong in any areas, like maybe your forehead or anything, you can just take your kabuki brush and kind of dab in that area, brighten it up a little bit. Okay guys, so that's going to be it for me today. I've obviously already gone ahead and finished my makeup. If you'd like to see a kind of process of my getting ready for the rest of my face, you can actually check that out. I will link it below, and at the end of this video I did kind of like a chit chat get ready with me style vlog, and you can definitely go and watch that, and I think you will be very, very happy with the way that the look turned out. Please give the video a thumbs up if you did enjoy it. Subscribe if you haven't already. It is free. It makes my day, and you guys are the reason that I make videos, and it just makes me super happy. I love you girls so much, and I will talk to you very soon in my next video. Until then, have an amazing rest of your week. Bye.